in this room right now. Thanks.
Wow, that's more than usual.
The governor would be disappointed.
We're in for a show today.
The governor would be disappointed if I didn't have my cards. Do you know?
Step up and hold those for you while you're doing it.
Yes. Sheriff Ivey and I put bad guys in jail. Our criminal justice system holds them accountable, and the federal government lets them into your neighborhood to rob and pillage and steal and rape and murder. Our governor is a leader. He's saying, look, the people of the state of Florida, the people of the United States of America elected Donald Trump because Donald Trump said he was going to fix this illegal immigration issue, and our top priority is the illegal immigrants in this country that are committing crime. So I want to give you just a quick snapshot of why our governor is saying Florida needs to set the example for the other states to support the president to get rid of these criminals who are victimizing our people. How about Edie Grandos? He's not only here illegally, he killed a 21-year-old. He was leaving the scene of a crash, no driver's license, in Homeland, Florida. Think about that for a minute. We had another instance where we arrested a guy 4 times for no driver's license, and ICE never deported him. Oh, that's minor. And then he ran over someone on a scooter and killed them. Had he been deported for violating the law, that person riding the scooter would be alive and well today. And then there's Elmer Kennel. He's 24. 2 people died, and a 18-year-old high school girl will be injured with issues forever because he was here illegally from Guatemala, caused a car crash, and 2 people died. This is a snapshot. We could give you hundreds. Dorito Casto. He was deported 2 times. He came back, he had a crash on 1792, DUI manslaughter, after he was already deported 2 times. How about Ernesto Morales, who's 32? His hit and run killed a 5-year-old little girl when he ran into the rear end of her car on Highway 60. How about Arnaldo Paz, who's 39? He murdered a 74-year-old lady in Polk City. None of these people should have been here to have created these crashes and murdered these people. How about Juan Orgozo? He's 36, attempted murder. He did a home invasion and told the lady, shut up or I'll kill you. She was there. As the governor said, they didn't care that that someone was there. They wanted to go in and steal stuff. And then there's the frost-proof murder by Miguel Cazame, who's 47. Now, folks, that should shock your conscience. But how about this? We have one of our victims here today. Professional criminals out of Venezuela. They were arrested in New York, in the city, in the state, and not held accountable. They ended up here. They're very good, very experienced, very professional criminals. They would go to restaurants, and they focused on our Asian residents and business people. They would photograph the restaurant inside and out. They would identify the owners. They would stalk them back and forth to their homes. And when they patterned them, then they would break into their homes and steal and steal and steal. Of the 9 cases we charged these folks with initially, 7 of them were our Asian American friends. They were here illegally. The Biden administration didn't care. We talked about that. Now we've got a governor who said, look, the people have voted and we want to get ahead. We want to set a state model. Our Senate and our House are the best in the nation, and they're led by professionals that I have the highest respect for. We have to come together and set the state model that supports the federal model so that we get the illegal criminals out of this country. Now, what's interesting about that, Governor, is the federal regulations as they currently are, the 287G and the housing, short-term and the housing long-term, are full of strings that are woke left. So adopting, we're going to support these federal legislations in their current form is absolutely a non-starter, unacceptable. The Trump administration has to immediately go from top to bottom in those regulations and get rid of that stuff. What we have to do, and our governor is setting the leadership, our Senate and our House will set the leadership, is say, hey, we in Florida are going to support what the voters of this state and the other states said, and we're going to craft policy that mandates for those that want to ride the fence that you actively get engaged in getting these criminals out of our community. I'll close with this. Governor, I still can't imagine why people think more of illegal aliens committing crime than they do honest, law-abiding citizens of the state of Florida and the United States of America. I don't understand that. But we've got a governor that says we're going to look out for the law-abiding citizens, for the children, for the good people of the state of Florida. We're going to set the model for the other states to follow. Our legislators who are brilliant, our leadership in the legislature is brilliant. We're going to make sure that we just don't carte blanche accept the federal positions because it's full of woke craziness. I mean, there's one provision if you are going to house these illegal immigrants that have committed crime long-term for the federal government, you've got to ask the person, do you identify as a male or a female, and who would you like to search you on the way in the jail? And we've got to have medical check you 3 times a week, and blah. You know, just gag me with it. That's the craziness that's written into the legislation. So listen, those of you that are writing for the Trump administration, get that crap out and let us do what we do best. The law enforcement officers of the state of Florida will do their job. Our governor is the leader. Our governor is saying, now's the time, and we're the place to set the example of how we can protect people and keep them safe in the free state of Florida. And I leave with this message: southbound and down. Do it yourself. You can self-deport and avoid a lot of prison sentence. But it's time, southbound and down. Thank you, Governor.
Okay. All right, more visual aids than normal. So we got our money's worth this morning from Grady. Okay, Senator Angolia.
Good morning, everyone. First, I want to thank all the law enforcement for everything you guys do, and thank you. And I think I've died and gone to political heaven. Yes, give them a big round of applause. I think I've died and gone to political heaven being on stage with Governor Ron DeSantis and these two guys. This is awesome. Please take pictures so I can post them later. So you can hear a bunch of passion in my voice because I get very passionate about this issue. And the passion comes from the federal government and state legislatures in the past, not this one, not doing what they were mandated to do, what the people want them to do. One of the reasons why this governor got elected is because he listens to people, he knows what the issues are, and he's not afraid, and he's being bold, and he pushes those issues. And that's one of the reasons why everyone wants to move here to the state of Florida. President Trump, same thing. There's a mandate. One of the big issues that he ran on is illegal immigration and finally fixing illegal immigration. When he was in office the first time, there was a bunch of Democrat obstructionists who were just trying to stop him every way, every issue along the way. But a funny thing happened from then until now, and that was President Biden, who basically opened up the borders, and the immigration issue became absolutely untenable for everyone because we've seen what it's been doing in our communities and bringing fentanyl and gangs across, illegal immigrants in our communities that are being brought here by a federal government, settling in our communities and wreaking havoc, committing crimes, and I want to thank these guys for doing what they do. But here's the deal. This issue has been festering since the Ronald Reagan administration. And year after year and administration after administration, we keep on hearing the same thing, that we are going to fix it. We are finally going to fix it. We never get anything. Ronald Reagan tried a grand bargain and bargained with the Democrats to get comprehensive illegal immigration reform. He gave amnesty to some, but the reform never came. And ever since then, all we've seen is the illegal immigration population just continue to grow and grow and grow. To the point now, it's not a Republican issue, although it's probably one of our big issues. It is an American issue. It is an issue for all of Floridians, because when you look at the polling, you have a lot of Democrats, a lot of independents that are that care about this issue because they understand the consequences of not doing anything. Well, the time for not doing anything is over. That's why I love when this governor, when I work with this governor, when we passed Senate Bill 1718, which at that point and still is probably the strongest state-led illegal immigration bill that's ever passed. So much, and you guys would know this, but I was getting contacted from representatives and senators in other states asking, why did you do this? Where is the language of this? How can we copy this? Because at that point I said that, look, the federal government under the Biden administration wasn't standing up and doing anything. So the states were going to have to take upon ourselves and do it. So we passed it. Other states are trying to copy. But now we have an opportunity. We have an amazing opportunity because we know ahead of time that President Trump on the first day of office is going to issue executive orders to start the mass deportation of a lot of illegal immigrants, especially those that are committing crimes, especially those are the ones that came over the border in the last 4 years, and start to finally fix this problem. And then our response is what? We'll wait, we'll get around to it. Are we going to let other states take the lead? No. Florida does not take a backseat to any state when it comes to fixing the illegal immigration problem. We are going to lead on this. So I want to thank this governor for doing what he said he was going to do in terms of fixing this problem. And this didn't happen in a vacuum. Did you think that Governor Ron DeSantis just woke up one day and said, "Hey, I'm going to hold a press conference. I'm going to talk about illegal immigration. I'm going to call a special session," without consulting President Trump? Obviously not. I know firsthand because I talked to this governor that he talks to the president a lot, and this is in coordination with the president. We cannot wait. We need to go on day one, ready on day one, so these guys can do their jobs. You know, the Biden administration for years were just literally tearing the walls down and fostering more and more illegal immigration. Now we're debating whether we want to do this now or wait. I think that's a question that it shouldn't even have to be asked and answered. We know this stuff has to happen now. So we should not hesitate. We should not equivocate. We should do everything we can, work hand in hand with the Trump administration through our great governor, Ron DeSantis, and get this done. Personally, I think this, and I have a sneaking suspicion, and most of you think this, and the people who are listening to this right now, we need to stand with Governor Ron DeSantis on this. We need to stand with President Trump, and we need to stand against illegal immigration. Guys, thank you for everything that you do.
Good morning, everybody. I had some notes that I was going to speak from, but Sheriff Judd asked me could he see him earlier, and he took all my speaking points. So, first of all, I want to thank Sheriff Judd and his team for hosting us here. Sheriff Judd is my great friend and certainly a leader for Florida sheriffs. I want to thank our governor, not only for today and for taking this stance, but for his unwavering stance in fighting crime and fighting illegal immigration across the country, sending great Florida resources to help fight the battle at the wall, at the border where it should be fought, instead of fighting it in our own backyards where we'd have to fight it if we didn't fight it out there. So certainly want to thank him and his team, our Attorney General as well. And then I want to thank President Trump for going through a living hell to become America's president. I will tell you that I'm excited about the next 4 years. The last 4 years, what we have seen is an administration that has opened the floodgates of illegals coming into our country. Nowhere else has America ever turned a blind eye to crime. Nowhere. But for some reason, illegal immigration, we not only turn a blind eye to it, we endorse it and fund it so that people can come into our country illegally. And to me, there's no greater slap in the face to those that came to our country the right way than to allow people to come to our country illegally. So this is the right time. We have gone through 4 years of illegals impacting our country. And I'm often asked, well, Florida's not a border state. I just checked again today, we're not. But here's what I can tell you. Every time that someone asks me that question, I respond with this. Illegal immigration doesn't stop at the border. It filters into every community in this country. It filters into every community, it filters into every resource we have, and it targets our citizens. It impacts our highways. We see traffic fatalities increase. Our health and medical resources are impacted, our insurance. All across the board, we see crime rising up because of illegals that are coming into our country. Fentanyl coming across the border. The last 4 years, we have seen more illegals cross our border than any time in the history of this country. And so what we're doing, what Governor DeSantis is doing with his leadership, is readying the force, giving us the tools, the resources we need to work with our local, state, and federal partners to get this job done. We've had, for the last 4 years, we've had an inability because of the federal rules and the federal laws for us to get involved, for us to be involved and do things that we know we can do to fix this problem. And let it be known, it's not the boots on the ground with Customs and Border Patrol and ICE. They want to do their jobs. They want to be unhandcuffed so they can go out and get the job done. But the Biden administration and those in Washington have handcuffed them. And in doing so, they have victimized America. I've spoken with angel families that have lost loved ones, innocent lives that were taken, innocent American lives that were taken by people that were here in our country illegally. I've spoken with those families and I've seen the gut-wrenching hurt in their face. I've spoken with victims of crime even today that were impacted by illegals. Not long ago, I watched one of my own deputies be hit head-on at high speed by a person that was drunk driving. Shouldn't even have been behind the wheel drunk, but he shouldn't have even been in our country because he was here illegally. Almost killed one of our deputies. Folks, it stops. 5 days from now. The governor spoke about Sheriff Judd and I being blessed to be called America's sheriffs. In fairness, he's called America's older sheriff, and I'm...
Best sheriff, older best sheriff.
No, I'm the better looking sheriff, so... But the reality is, in 5 days, America's real sheriff will take over. Florida's sheriff is standing right here behind me. And he has been pushing the needle, setting the pace for us to protect you. And so this is about getting ready for January 20th, that executive order to come in, for us to all work together as partners with one common goal: protecting the citizens of America, protecting the citizens of the state of Florida, and giving us the tools we need to protect our country. So I am blessed to stand here, and Governor DeSantis, thank you. Sheriff Judd said it very well. We have a great team in Tallahassee. Our legislators in the Senate and House are awesome. They have helped put Florida in what we often refer to as the free state of Florida. What we're doing now is all of us working together to push the needle and let Florida be the leader in protecting America. That's what we're doing. Thank you, Governor.
All right. Okay, Shubin, come on. You ready?